everyone, Mr. G here. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another collection video. Today, I thought I'd finally do my favorite system of all time, the Nintendo GameCube. I absolutely love the Nintendo GameCube. I've loved it since the day it launched, and I love it to this day. Main reason being is that I think the library is phenomenal on the Nintendo GameCube. Some of the best series of all time started on the GameCube, and some of the best series of all time ended on the GameCube, like 1080 snowboarding and wave race and all that. Another reason I love the Nintendo GameCube is that I love the design. I love the Game Boy Advance player that you can play on it, the Game Boy player, play all your old Game Boy Advance games on it. I love the Nintendo Wavebird. That was actually the official start of wireless controllers for console gaming. They knocked it out the park, and it started from there. So everybody can thank wireless controllers to the GameCube. And I loved playing games that used the Game Boy Advance connectivity. Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles was a great one, and Legend of Zelda 4 Swords was amazing. I love the Nintendo GameCube with all my heart. The other reason being is that for me personally, where I was in my life and what was going on in my life, the Nintendo GameCube means a lot to me. So the story goes is that back in my country in 2003, Nintendo finally decided to launch in my country, and they launched with the Nintendo GameCube. The Nintendo GameCube was the very first console to ever come into my country. So what happened is, back in 2003 when they launched the GameCube, they decided to have like a Nintendo World Championships. So what they did is they went to each state, they had a competition, set scores, set times, and then the winner from each state would go to the finals and compete to be the best Nintendo game player in the country. So what happened is, because I was a huge Nintendo fanboy, and because Nintendo wasn't in the country, I had imported a Nintendo 64. Everybody in my country was playing Sony PlayStation, and I was into Nintendo. So the day that they came to my state, they did it they came and they set it up, the competition. I went first thing in the morning. I was one of the first people to go. I went in, I set my scores, my times, and I ended up winning in my state. I came first in my state. Nobody beat my scores, nobody beat my times for the day. I ended up winning a Nintendo GameCube and the four games that we played that day. So I ended up winning all that in the day. I ended up then getting flown to the finals, all expense paid, put up in a hotel, and the finals was to determine who was the best player, and the winner was going to get an all expense paid trip to E3 in Los Angeles. So I went up to the finals, and unfortunately I didn't win, but I did come third in the country, the whole country, and I ended up winning another Nintendo GameCube, and I ended up winning a game of my choice every month for a year. So I ended up getting a whole bunch of the first party Nintendo games of my choice every month for a year. So I ended up getting 2 Nintendo GameCubes for free and a whole bunch of games for free. So for me personally, the Nintendo GameCube meant a lot to me because of where I was in my life and how I won it, and I just fell in love with the Nintendo GameCube for that reason. If you actually go to my channel, you can see the video of the competition. It's like one of my first videos I ever posted. I was way younger back then. Actually, let me close the door because they're cutting a lawn, unfortunately. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, so you can see the video of the competition. So that's why the Nintendo GameCube means a lot to me, and I still love it to this day. I still think the games are phenomenal on it, and so let's just jump into it, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to tell you every single game is amazing and I love it, because I can tell you now this is one of the best libraries ever. So I have Rayman Arena, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Battle Nexus, NBA Streets Volume 1 and Volume 3. Volume 3 being the best because you can play with Mario and Peach. That's really, really cool. I have Crazy Taxi, which is great. I used to play this a lot on my Dreamcast when my Dreamcast worked. Wario World, which is a very cool Wario game. Sonic Adventure Battle 2. And then this is my Nintendo Select, so they've got the yellow cover. my favorite fighting series of all time and the best one of the lot, Soul Calibur 2, because you could play with Link, which was really amazing. It's still amazing to this day that you can actually fight as Link in a fighting game. Sonic Heroes, another player select. Resident Evil Remake. When this came out on the Nintendo GameCube, it was incredible. It blew everybody's minds. The graphics were phenomenal. Another reason why the Nintendo GameCube was incredible. Sonic Adventure DX, Director's Cut, another great Sonic game on the GameCube. Kirby's Air Ride, which I think it's okay. A lot of people love this game, but I think it's just okay. Launched on the Nintendo GameCube and still one of the best games ever, Luigi's Mansion. I love the Luigi's Mansion series. Super Monkey Ball, I believe that started on the Nintendo GameCube. That's a great series on the Nintendo GameCube. Sonic Mega Collection, which is phenomenal. This I got at Goodwill for a couple of dollars a couple of years ago, and now it's worth an absolute fortune. Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door. Unfortunately, it is a player's choice. I want to get the black label, but this is one of my favorite games ever. It's still the best Paper Mario to this day, and it's just shooting up in price every day. I have the box and booklet, which I picked up at Goodwill for a couple of dollars, so that was one of my best scores ever, especially how much it is today. Another great collection on the GameCube, the Mega Man Anniversary Collection. That's really cool on the Nintendo GameCube. Pac-Man World 2, which comes with Pac-Man Versus, which is one of the main reasons the Nintendo Game Boy Advance connectivity is so cool on the GameCube. If you ever played 4-player this with Pac-Man, you know exactly why that is so cool. Series it technically started on the Nintendo 64, but this was the main game to come to the West. Still one of my favorite series of all time, Animal Crossing. This is one I started off with. I probably put 1,000 hours into this game. Also, connectivity with the Game Boy Advance. You get all the NES games in the game. You can upload them to the Game Boy Advance and play NES games on it. Incredible, incredible. Star Wars, the Lego video game. I have a lot of Lego video games. One of the best games of all time. It's in my top 10 games of all time. When it launched, it blew my mind. It blew everybody's mind. It's still considered one of the best games of all time. Resident Evil 4. Another reason why the Nintendo GameCube was phenomenal, because when this game launched, nobody had ever seen anything like that before. Phenomenal. Okay, so that's it for the player's choice. Let's just jump into a few more. Prince of Persia Warrior Within. That's okay. I don't have the Sands of Time, which I loved. Harvest Moon, A Wonderful Life, which is a really cool series. It's pretty cool. So there were, I believe there was 5 or 6 Tony Hawk games on the Nintendo GameCube. I have Tony Hawk Underground 1 and 2, American Wasteland, and Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4. I mean, think about it. There were 6 Tony Hawk games on the Nintendo GameCube. So that's pretty amazing. Ultimate Spider-Man. That's okay. This was the last game in the series to come on a Nintendo system, and probably the best one, F-Zero GX, made by Sega. Phenomenal game. Looks phenomenal on the GameCube. That was the last one we had in the series, unfortunately. Last game in the series, 1080 Avalanche. Not as good as the first one, but still a really, really cool game. And also the last time we saw that series. Another series that ended on the GameCube, Wave Race Blue Storm. Not as good as the first one, but I still really, really love Wave Race Blue Storm. The graphics in this game are phenomenal. And it's really sad to think that we no longer have these series on any of the Nintendo systems. And the GameCube was the last to have these series. These amazing series. I don't know why Nintendo doesn't jump on it. I don't have SSX Tricky, but I do have SSX 3 and On Tour. That's 3 SSX games that were on the Nintendo GameCube. SSX 3 being one of my favorite games of all time. Also, really cool, you can connect the Game Boy Advance game and get money for the game with that. Really, really cool. Let's bring some over here. So, another reason the Nintendo GameCube was amazing is Mario Tennis, Mario Golf, Mario Strikers, and Mario Baseball. We had 4 of the Mario sports titles on the Nintendo GameCube. we don't even have 2 on most systems. The Switch only has tennis, but the GameCube had 4. And these actually were probably the best. Mario Tennis on the GameCube is amazing. Mario Golf, Toadstool's Tour was amazing. And Mario Strikers, amazing on the GameCube. So 4 sports titles on the Nintendo GameCube. That's why the Nintendo GameCube was so cool. Whole bunch of Need for Speed games on the Nintendo GameCube. I only have Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2 and Underground 2, but there is a lot more. I believe there's Most Wanted. I thought I had Most Wanted. I'm pretty sure I had Most Wanted. Another phenomenal fighting game on the system, Capcom vs SNK 2. That's another great game on the system. This was one of the best Goodwill scores I ever got. $3, walked into Goodwill, Def Jam Fight for New York. Doesn't have the booklet, unfortunately, but I picked this up for $3. This is now over $100 worth, this game. It's insane how much this game is going up in price. Whole bunch of Star Wars games on the GameCube. Possibly the best, some of the best Star Wars games ever. Rogue Leader and Rebel Strike. Amazing Star Wars games. This was a launch game. That's still one of the best Star Wars games ever. And then we had 2 Star Fox games on the Nintendo GameCube. Rare made Star Fox Adventures, which I love. Everybody says it's not like Star Fox, but I thought this game was amazing. And very underrated Star Fox Assault, which I love. So we had 2 Star Fox, really good Star Fox games on the Nintendo GameCube. One of the best shooters of all time, Ikaruga. That is on the GameCube. I have it with the box and booklet. I believe this was a Goodwill find. I found this in Goodwill. Amazing game. One of the best RPGs ever, Tales of Symphonia. That was on the Nintendo GameCube. Really underrated game that I love, PN03. That's a really, really cool game. Also, talking of Resident Evil, how many Resident Evil games came out on the Nintendo GameCube? I think we had 2, 3, 0, Remake, 4, Code Veronica. This was another great game on the system. I mean, how many is that? 5 or 6 Resident Evil games we had on the Nintendo GameCube. A highly underrated game, Killer 7. Really, really unique game by, what is the guy's name? He made No More Heroes. Grasshopper. Can't remember his name, but I'm hoping this comes to the Switch one day because that's a really underrated game. One of Sega's most underrated games. I don't understand why they don't remake this game or make a sequel. Billy Hatchet and the Giant Egg. I finished this game. I love this game. This game was so underrated. A really fun little game. Wish Sega would jump back onto that. Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, one of the best use of the Game Boy Advance. 4-player with this, with Game Boy Advance connected, is some of the best fun you ever had. I put hundreds and hundreds of hours with my friends into that game. Pokemon Channel. Another amazing game, WarioWare Inc. Really, really cool party game on the Nintendo GameCube. Simpsons Road Rage and Simpsons Hit and Run. 2 really, really cool games on the Nintendo GameCube. Another great series on the GameCube that started, Beautiful Joe and Beautiful Joe 2. Another great series that started on the GameCube. Another amazing fighting series, very underrated fighting series. This was one of my favorite fighting series ever. Bloody Roar, Primal Fury. I love the Bloody Roar series, especially Bloody Roar 1 and 2 on the PlayStation 1. Underrated shooter, Geist. I wish they'd remake that. That's a really unique shooter. The Donkey Kong Bongos. I forgot about that on the Nintendo GameCube. Another great little accessory for the GameCube. Main reason being Donkey Kong Jungle Beat is one of the best Donkey Kong games ever. And nobody ever talks about it. If you've played this on the GameCube, you'll know how amazing this game is. And just using the drums to play is crazy. This game has shot up in price. Chibi Robo. So I bought this game when it first launched and nobody knew about it. I played through this game. I love this game. I thought this game was so cool and nobody knew about it. And for years and years and years I talked about this game. Now all of a sudden this game has become hugely popular and this game has shot up in price. It's pretty crazy how much that's going for now. Didn't start on the GameCube, but it took off and became known as one of the best series ever. Super Smash Brothers Melee. Everybody considers this the best one. A lot of people do. I think that the Switch version is the best, but this started on the Nintendo GameCube. Well, it didn't start, but it took off. Another series that I miss, Battalion Wars. This was the first and only 3D Battalion. No, sorry. There was one on the Wii, but the 3D version of this started on the GameCube. Another great little series I love on the GameCube. Another great RPG series. I only have the first one. Bates and Katos. I think it's Bates and Katos. Eternal Wings and the Lost Ocean. That's a really unique RPG series. Super Mario Sunshine! I love Super Mario Sunshine. It gets a lot of flack, but I still think it's one of the best ones. Super Mario Galaxy 2 being my favorite. But this one actually is one of my favorites. Just for the music alone. I mean, if you put it on and listen to music, you know why it's so good. There were 3 Zelda games. Actually, technically 4 if you add the collector's edition. There were 4 Zelda games on the Nintendo GameCube. Unfortunately, you don't have Twilight Princess because it's so expensive. But the collector's edition, which has Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, one of the most underrated Zelda games ever, especially 4-player with Game Boy Advance. 4 Swords, love that game. And one of my favorite Zeldas ever, Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, which still to this day looks amazing. I actually, from my country, we had a special edition that came with a bonus disc that came with a whole bunch of demos, which you don't really get anywhere else. So I have a really cool version of Wind Waker. And in my top 3 games of all time, one of my favorite series of all time that started on the Nintendo GameCube is still phenomenal to this day. Metroid Prime and Metroid Prime 2. Metroid Prime being in my top 3 games of all time. This game blew my mind when it came out. I played it non-stop for a week, and I still think it's one of the best games ever. The sequel wasn't as good, but it's still pretty amazing. Another series started on the GameCube. Very underrated Mario Kart Double Dash. I love Double Dash. I thought Double Dash was a really cool Mario Kart game. Another series that started on the GameCube, and it's one of my favorite series ever. Pikmin 1, Pikmin 2. Pikmin 2 being the best one, but Pikmin 1 is also great. Another series I love that started on the Nintendo GameCube. And then, it just shows you why the GameCube is the best system ever. 4 Mario Parties. Mario Party 4, 5, 6, and 7. 4 Mario Parties on the GameCube. That's more than any other system. And these are considered the best Mario Parties of the lot, especially number 4 and number 6. 4 Mario Parties on the system. Insane. And then, one of the biggest gems on the system that everybody loves, Eternal Darkness. Really great game. I don't know why Nintendo never carried on with this series. Everybody loves this series. Another phenomenal game on the GameCube. And then the last game in my collection, Metal Gear Solid The Twin Snakes, which is a remake of the first game, which is also amazing game on the system. Probably one of the best Metal Gear Solid games. And it's a GameCube exclusive. And I still need quite a few games for my collection. I don't have Fire Emblem. I'm looking for Skies of Arcadia. There's still a few games out there I still want to get. But beyond that, the Nintendo GameCube is phenomenal. Its library is amazing. Its impact on the industry was amazing. For me personally, in my life, it was amazing. It's still amazing to this day. Everybody loves the Nintendo GameCube. And there's a reason why this has become the hottest item to collect for at the moment, and why games are skyrocketing. Because everybody has such nostalgia for the system, especially me. And I still love finding games for the system, but they're really becoming hard now because of how expensive they are. Well, anyway, that's my GameCube collection. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you love the GameCube as much as I do. I'm sure everybody does because it's such a great system. Give my video a like, subscribe. I'm out.